Hello everybody, we are Naomi Tanamachi and DulceBlanco, and this is our action research project. In our first meetings, we shared our experiences and we realized we both work with teens. Even though we work with different age groups, we coincided on the fact that there are some issues which could be addressed for this project, in general related to misconceptions either about the English language itself or the students' learning process. This led to identifying motivation, or better said, the lack of motivation, as our research topic. The topic implied several aspects to consider before we had a good research question. We identified some causes first, like the fact that they regard English as a difficult language or students see themselves as unskilled for the job. Then, in order to lead to a solution, ICTs were put on the table as a means to change their self-perspective towards the language and eventually improve motivation in the class. So, the research question proposed was oriented to the hypothesis of improving motivation if ICTs were included in the classroom. Since Naomi works at a school with a more structured English program, the decision was to work with her classes. Then, the study group was a class of 14 eighth graders who have a basic level in English at Celestine Freinet School, which is a private school in Jalapa. The project was indicated to be 3-week long. The idea was to carry on with the lessons but including ICTs on the way so students became more active and interested. Each lesson was planned in 4 sections to review the topic, addressing both grammar and vocabulary, and a 5th section addressing a certain form of assessment. The unit All About Me from the textbook suited the activity perfectly. The topic seemed adequate, as students may feel more confident when talking about something they know about, that is themselves. Besides the textbook, it was necessary to include extra material such as online games and realia to ensure that students get enough tools to work in class and include ICTs as part of their routine. For gathering data, instruments were designed. The first one was an observation sheet that allowed getting information from the teacher's perspective about behavior and participation in class. Also, a survey format was designed aiming to get students' own perspective, which could allow us to see beyond the mere attitude and identify deeper reasons. According to the coding method, 5 categories were set. Interest in the topic, which was about allowing students to freely choose their topic with very good results in their participation. Using games in the class changed the atmosphere completely, although some rules had to be agreed on as it was difficult for students to understand that a game could be academic as well. Also, changing the instructor role where the teacher became more passive, more an observer than the master of the class, made students become less stressed out and improved participation. So, towards the end of the 3-week period, a more participative class was there. Students felt more encouraged to produce orally and to engage in activities. Confidence became more obvious at their presentations, their projects were more organized, and presenting in public was not a problem. For the conclusions, we can say that using games was a major asset. They found a different way of addressing boring topics or things they had been apathetic about. Secondly, having a guide rather than a boss in the teacher makes students more aware of their progress, but also of their responsibility towards their own improvement. Having them choose a topic in terms of what was familiar to them translated in a more efficient process, but also made them make connections to real life, being this important for them to make the language, to take, the language out of the classroom. For the recommendations, we can only say that trusting a little bit freedom in the class will eventually pay off. Having students decide is one of the most important things a teacher can do, as it makes them feel included and important. And this will translate in a much more productive class. So we have to trust our students, freedom and technology at the same time. Thank you.